Welcome, everybody. I'm really excited to kick this off through AGS. We've had our new household acquisition training course for the last couple of years, and a lot of you have been through that. We've been asked by many agents to have a similar format for a life class, and we've actually been working on it for the last year, but couldn't quite get it. And then Gurbinder ran into Steve at a conference, and it was like a light bulb moment. Why would we do this? We can go get the best. So we're excited to announce this partnership with Steve Wilmer and the Risk Advisor Institute to do a similar format life class starting up in August and September. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Steve.
I appreciate it. All right, guys, listen, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you guys. Like Jason said, had the pleasure of meeting Gurbinder. I think it was I don't know where I was speaking at, somewhere in California, right? Gurbinder, I think it was. San
Yeah,
Jose.
San Jose, Santa
Thank
Clara.
you. San Jose, California. So I'm excited. I'm going to share my screen here with you real quick, guys. I don't believe in wasting time. I love training team members, so we're going to dive into it. For the agents that are on the line, take some notes. Team members on the line, make sure you take some notes. I know that there is maybe like a contact link or something like that for you guys to contact Agency Growth Services for any questions you may have. But we're going to dive right into the training. I'm going to do a very quick introduction, maybe 90 seconds. And then today, guys, we're going to do some life and health training. All right. So, Justin, please let me know if you can see my screen or not, sir.
We got it. Clear as can be. You were all set.
Outstanding. Let's get started. So, as Jason mentioned, guys, this is a collaboration between Agency Growth Services and Risk Advisor Institute. My name is Steve. I'm the president of the Risk Advisor Institute. But the first thing that I want all of you to know is that I am a United States Marine. Hoorah, Marine Corps. So you might be sitting to yourself thinking, why in the world would my agent put me on a training call with a crazy Marine? What does this guy know about selling life insurance and health insurance, right? Here's the reason why. Team members, up until a couple of years ago, I was a State Farm team member just like you guys. It is important for you to understand that I was never a State Farm agent. I'm an approved agent, candidate for agency, but I was never a State Farm agency. The first 2 years with John's office, I struggled to write life and health like a lot of team members do. But as soon as I implemented what I'm about to share with you guys over the next 30 to 35 minutes or so, consistently every single year, I issued over 100 life apps between 80 and 100,000 in life premium. Every single year, my numbers qualified my agent, John, Chairman Circle, Level 3. We just hit Exotic Travel, MDRT, SVP Club. Every year, I average about 42,000 in health premium. One year, I wrote 74,000 in health premium. We made President's Club that year. For those agents who have been here for a while, back then, President's Club was top 50, not top 100. So the reason I share that information with a team members, it is not to impress you, but it is to impress upon you that if you guys will listen to me, more importantly, if you will implement what you're about to learn, I guarantee you will take your life and health production to the next level, regardless of where it is right now. Once we start our class in August, and it's already ramping up, if I'm not mistaken, I think we may have maybe like 11 or 12 spots left. All right, you can verify that with Justin them. But we will not be, I will not be teaching this class by myself. I got other top producing team members across this country that will help me. I know we got one class in August. I don't know if we have enough space for the second class we're going to be doing in September. All right. But you guys are going to have access to me and my coaches. Listen to this. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you will have access to us, including the 2 hours that we will be working with you guys in the month of August. So I am telling you, take advantage of this. Ask your questions, get enrolled, because August 5th, I believe it is, guys, we're ready to rock and roll. Now, team training. Life and health is what we're going to be training the team members on. You're going to get a little bit of that today. We're going to do a lot of scrimmaging, role play. All right. We're going to be putting your team members on the spot, guys. I know it's not going to feel good, but I promise it's going to be good for you. Our goal is this. We make the practice hard so the game is easy. Listen to me. I guarantee you that after training with us, there is nothing that a customer will say to you that you're not ready for. We're going to assign you some homework. And trust me, I hated school, so it's not going to be that type of homework, right? The homework we're going to assign is going to give you word tracks on how to overcome objections. The homework we're going to assign is going to help you pivot. We're going to give you the specific pivots we want you to use, and you're going to see an immediate increase in your life sales and also your premium. And then there's accountability. I understand that nobody likes being held accountable, not even myself, right? But once we're held accountable, guys, that's going to tie everything together. So that's who we are. That's what we're going to do. Let's dive right into the training. One of the first things we're going to be teaching you team members is how to overcome the 8 biggest mistakes to avoid when selling life insurance. Now, obviously, for today, we don't have a lot of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you 4 of those mistakes. Listen to me. Take notes on the things we're going to be going over, and then you're going to want to implement these things immediately when you jump off this call. We're going to do life first, and then I'm going to dive right into health. So here's the first thing that I want everyone to write down quickly. When problems are solved, money changes hands. Please write that down quickly. Team members, that is the mindset that we've got to have. It is not about pushing a product or a policy. It is about solving the customer's problems. And once you focus on that, that's when things begin to change. So here's the very first mistake that I want you guys to that I want you to remember. Write it down. It's selling products. Mistake number 1 is selling products. Here's what I mean by that. Every single time I would say the word life insurance to a customer, they were trying to get off the phone. They were trying to get out of my office. They did not want to talk about life insurance, right? I don't know if we have a chat box or not, but if we do have a chat, if that's one of your issues, Steve, I bring up life insurance. Nobody wants to talk about life insurance. I want you to put the number 1 in the chat. If that's one of your issues, because it was absolutely one of my issues. So here's what I had to do. I had to stop talking about life insurance, and I had to start talking about something that everybody is already talking about. And we're already talking about money, income, or cash. Money, income, or cash. So I want all of you, choose a word you're going to start to use to replace the word life insurance with. Is your word going to be money, income, or cash? Pick one of those words and write it down quickly. Now, underneath whatever word you chose, I want you to write the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Team, I'm going to show you how I sell the problem that I solve, not the product of life insurance. Number 1, you're going to write pay off the mortgage or pay the rent. Pay off the mortgage or pay the rent. Ask yourself, do your customers have a mortgage or do they have rent? We all know the answer is yes. Number 2, pay the bills. How many of your customers have bills to pay? Number 3, pay off debt. How many of your customers and prospects have debt? Number 4, pay for college. Every first of the month, I have a kid that's in college. We pay his tuition. I have 2 daughters, and every first of the month, we pay for their private school. And number 5, this is something that everyone is going to have to pay for us, pay final expenses. So team, these are known as the 5 pays. Listen to me. These are the only 5 things that I ever ask my customer about. And the reason that it works is because these are the same 5 things that my customer is already talking about at night. Guys, they are not sitting around at night talking about life insurance, but they are talking about having enough money to pay the bills. Or how much cash do we have to make the mortgage payment? Do we have enough income to make sure we can pay off this debt? So once I started having the same conversation with my customers, that's when my life insurance started to increase. So I only use the word life insurance one time when I speak with a customer. I'll use it right at the beginning. I want to go ahead and get it out of the way. You don't have to ignore the word or avoid the word. Use it, but you only use it once. So if I may have a pivot, I may say something like, hey, Justin, I see we have your auto insurance, but not your life insurance. Was that intentional or was that a mistake on our part? Or I may take a payment and I may say, hey, Jason, while this is processing, I see we have your auto, we have your home, but I don't see your life insurance. Again, was that intentional or was that a mistake? So once I use the word life insurance, regardless of the objection I get, don't have time to talk about it. I'm not interested. I have it at work. Doesn't matter to me the objection because I go back to my word, which is money, and then I go to the 5 pays. So I get the fact you're not interested in life insurance. I understand that. But making sure your family had enough money to pay the bills, would that be important to you? Or I may ask a question like, why would you not be interested in leaving your daughter enough income to pay for college? You see, I want you to hear how once I say life insurance, then I transition. I start using either money, cash, or income, but it has to be about the 5 pays. Stop using words like lifestyle. There's nobody sitting around at night going, what type of lifestyle would you like to have? Don't talk like that. Nobody talks like that. People want to know, do I have enough money in the bank to pay the bills? If I'm not here, will my daughter have enough income to pay for college? Who's going to give the funeral home enough money to pay my final expenses? So, mistake number 1, we are done using the word life insurance over and over again. You're going to use the word money, cash, or income, but it must go with one of the 5 pays. Let's keep it moving. A couple of years ago, I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I have the pleasure of being trained by Tony Robbins himself. And here's something that Tony said to me. Successful people ask better questions. As a result, they get better answers. Here's mistake number 2 that a lot of team members are making. Not asking enough questions. Write it down, write it down, write it down. Not asking enough questions is a huge mistake. As a matter of fact, write this as well. Telling is not selling. Telling is not selling. Statements do not require a response. My problem the first 2 years why I struggled to write life, guys, is because I did all the telling, all the talking, all the explaining. I used to think that if I just gave the customer all this information, then obviously they're going to want to buy from me, right? Wrong. Write this down, guys. Put an asterisk next to it, underline it, circle it, do something. Do not forget this. This is a game changer. It is not what you say, it is what you ask. It is not what you say, it is what you ask. And team members are not asking enough questions. Guys, I am assertive, not aggressive. We do not want aggressive team members, but I am assertive. When I get an objection, I simply ask another question. Why would it not be important to you to make sure your family has enough money to pay the bills? Or would it be important to make sure they had enough income to pay off the mortgage? Well, how much do you own a mortgage? $300,000, great. Do you have $300,000 set aside now to pay the mortgage off? Well, if you don't have the money, where's it going to come from? I mean, do you come from a rich family? Well, if you don't come from a rich family, then a rich family has to come from you. Am I right? Tell me this. Would it be okay with you if my agent Gerbinder left that money? Like if he paid the mortgage off and your family never had to stress again about another mortgage payment, would that be a smart thing to do? You see, guys, even when I get an objection, I keep asking a question and then another question and then another question. So I'm going to remind your team on how to be the 4-year-old. You see, you know as well as I do, when you tell a 4-year-old no, they don't stop asking questions. They ask question after question after question. As a matter of fact, the number 1 question that a 4-year-old will always ask is why. I want you to start implementing the question why in your conversation. I do it all the time. And when you ask a customer why or why not, it forces them to dig deeper. Steve, I'm not interested in life insurance. Really? Tell me why not. Why would you not want to leave your wife enough money to pay the bills? And then they start going, oh, well, I do want to do that. You see, here's what I'm trying to teach you. People are not interested in policies. They are interested in making sure the family has enough money to pay the bills. I don't want to talk about buying a life insurance policy, but it would make sense to leave my daughter enough cash to pay for college. So it's not about what you say, it's about what you ask. So, excuse me, some of my clients know this. I always talk about the best sales book ever written. It's a book called Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. Now, see, I know a lot of you read this book when you were younger. And if you remember, he simply says to him, you know what, my name is Sam, right? Sam, I am. But then he asks a question, do you like green eggs and ham? And if you remember, the prospect said, no, I do not like green eggs and ham. But when he got a no, Sam simply asked another question. And when the prospect said no again, Sam asked another question. Every single time the prospect said no, Sam kept asking questions. But team, here's the reason why. Here's what Sam understood that I need each of you to understand. Write this down. Most people are so negative, they must say no at least 7 times before they say yes. I'll say it again. Most people are so negative, they must say no at least 7 times before they say yes. So here's what we found training thousands upon thousands of team members. The average team member gives up after only 2 objections. And if you don't believe me, listen to yourselves. Listen to each other. Prospect tells you no, you may ask 1 question, but most team members don't. All right, I'll check back with you. Let me know if anything changes. No, team, you're going to ask another question and another question and another question. The number that we're going to focus on is 4. When you receive an objection, you should be asking a minimum of 4 questions before you move on. So, for the agents and team members that are listening, my suggestion is you want to get this book for your office. I'm telling you, don't take this for granted. Get the book for the office. Sit down together, read the book. It's going to remind you that the next time you get an objection from a customer, don't you dare say, okay. You ask another question and another question and another question. It's going to get you to the answer that you're looking for. All right, let's keep it moving. So team, here's Damon John from Shark Tank. And Damon always says, when it comes to sales, never ask for permission. Here's mistake number 3. Asking for permission. Write it down. For the first 2 years, guys, this was a huge struggle for me. I was constantly asking my customer for permission. Are you interested in life insurance? Nope. Hey, do you have time to talk about life insurance before you go? Nope, I'm good. Would you like to do a life needs analysis? See, these are all permission questions. Are you interested? Do you have time? Would you like to? Is it okay? Write this down. Stop inviting no into your agency. The reason a lot of team members are struggling is because they absolutely invite the word no. You're asking the wrong type of questions. I don't even tell you to ask open-ended questions. Forget that. The questions that you're going to learn how to ask are called buy-in questions. A buy-in question is specifically designed to get a yes instead of a no. So I'm going to give you a couple of buy-in questions I want you to start using, and then I'm going to show you what we need to do. Here's the first one. Would it make sense? Would it make sense? So let's say the word you chose to replace life insurance with was money. Then your question should be, Steve, would it make sense to leave your wife enough money to pay the bills? So I want you to notice how I put 3 things together. I use your word money. I use the buy-in question, would it make sense? And I use one of the 5 pays. Everything revolves around the 5 pays. I didn't say taken care of. Do you want her to be provided for? Do you want to make sure she maintains the same lifestyle? No. Would it make sense to leave her enough money to pay the bills? Here's another one. Would that be a smart thing to do? Would that be a smart thing to do? Maybe you chose the word income. Hey, Jason, making sure the family has enough income to pay the bills. Would that be a smart thing to do? Or hey, Jason, making sure the kids had enough income to pay for college. You got to tell me, would that be a smart thing to do? Because team, think about it like this. Whether I'm here or not here, my wife still has to have enough money to pay the bills. Am I right? Here's a question. Put this in the chat. Who can tell me what was the buy-in question that I just asked? Justin, tell me if you're able to see that. What was the buy-in question that I just asked to get a customer to say yes?
Chat is open, everybody. I've been putting in it. Chat is open. It's on the bottom.
Come on, team. Let's go. This is a blessing for you. You better be glad I can't see you because I will be calling on you, pulling you out of your comfort zone right now. I will pull you out of your comfort zone, kicking and screaming. That's exactly what's going to happen. Inez Young, raise your hand. What was the buy-in question, Inez? Let's go. Show them all up.
Can you hear me?
We
I
can hear
can.
you.
What was the
Okay,
buy-in
so
question?
the chat is disabled. It's still disabled for me, so I can't put it in there. But the last buy-in question that you said was, would that be a smart thing to do?
So, Inez, tell me this. You're a team member or an agent?
I'm a team member.
What agency are you with, Inez?
Aisha Scott State Farm in Beaufort,
Aisha
South Carolina.
Scott. I got something very special for you. So that's why I'm writing your name down and I'm writing your agent's name down. I got something special just for Inez. So, Inez, I want to thank you for answering the question. So here was the buy-in question. That was the buy-in question before. I'll say it again. See if you catch it, Inez. You ready? So, Inez, whether I'm here or not here, my wife still has to have enough income to pay the bills. Am I right? Think about it, Inez. What was the buy-in question? Did you catch it that time?
Enough income if you're here and you're not, or if you're not here.
It was 3 words. Am I right?
Right. Ah, you got me.
But Inez, check this out. This is what the important part is, right? That's how buy-in questions work with customers. They say yes and they don't even realize it. Team, everybody listen to me. This is called conditioning. I don't have time to go through it now. I condition my customers to agree with me right from the very beginning. Everybody write this down. If you have a strong opening, you don't need a strong closing. Clients always ask, Steve, help me close the sale. Inez, I promise you, I'm going to help you close the sale. But the closing starts at the beginning, not at the end. And we do that with buy-in questions. So it was, am I right? Inez, let me ask you another one. Pay attention. Are you ready? Here it goes. You know what, Inez? I bet you my daughters would appreciate having enough money to pay for college if I'm not here. Would you agree?
Yes.
And what was the buy-in question?
Would you agree?
There you go. That's what I'm talking about, team. And that's how training works. So, Inez, that's what I need you to do. The next time you're talking with a customer or a prospect, forget about asking for permission. Are you interested? Do you have time? Would you like to? Use your word. Would it make sense to leave your family enough money to pay the bills? Or, hey, the bills still have to be paid. Am I right? And I bet you they would appreciate having that income. Would you agree? Well, if you don't leave the money from them, where is it coming from? What if Aisha left the money? If Aisha paid your family's house off, would that be a smart thing to do? I mean, if she gave them a tax-free check for $500,000, you got to tell me, would that be a smart thing to do or would that make sense? I mean, is your family worth, let's say, $25 a week? Would you agree that last week you wasted $25 on something that doesn't even matter? Great. How do you want to pay for this, monthly or yearly? Team, a lot of times you guys think that writing life insurance with premium, it's hard, but it's extremely simple when you know, watch this, not what to say, but what to ask. By the way, you realize that $25 a week is $100 a month? Did you also know that the average team member is only writing $27 a month life insurance policies? See, in our training, again, we start right in August, guys. We're not just going to teach the team how to increase the policies. We're going to teach them how to increase the premium. All right. It's one thing to write 100 life apps, but when you can write 100 life apps with 80 to 100,000 in life premium per team member, now you're winning. Inez, thank you so much for that. Let me give you guys one more. When you talk, you're only repeating what you already know. If you listen, you may learn something new. And as you guys can see, my wife told me that. Stop laughing at me, Gerbender. I can see you. All right. Here's mistake number 4. Mistake number 4, guys, is talking instead of listening. As you guys can tell, I am a talker. This killed me for 2 years because I was doing all the talking. Write this down. If you're doing all the talking, your customer is not listening to you. Stop doing all the talking. Stop trying to convince your customer to buy life insurance from you. I said it before. It's not what you say, it's what you ask. Most team members do not listen to their customer with the intent to truly understand what's important to the customer. They're only listening to reply to the customer. Here's why that's a mistake. Write this down. If you listen to your customer, they will tell you how to sell them something. If you listen to your customer, they will tell you how to sell them something because, team, they're going to tell you what's important to them. But if you're not listening, you're going to miss it. God gave us 2 ears, only 1 mouth. We should listen twice as much as we speak. So the acronym that I still use today to remind me of this, it's called WAIT, W-A-I-T. And team, it simply stands for, why am I talking? You should not be doing all the talking. You should be doing the listening. So when I meet with a customer, I ask a question, then I listen. I ask another question, and then I listen. People talk about what's important to them. Whatever they talk about, I ask about. Whatever they say it's important to them, that's what I start doing. Okay? So guys, listen, I know we went through a lot. We went through a lot very quickly. It felt like drinking water from a fire hose. But let's do a quick review because I don't want you to come to this call and then not implement the things we just talked about. So we talked about mistake number 1. From here on out, you're only going to use the word life insurance once. Don't avoid the word. Use the word life insurance. I gave you a great pivot to use it. But once you say life insurance once, you are done with that product, life insurance. You then transition. You start using whatever word you chose, money, income, or cash. But remember, it must go with one of the 5 pays. Don't you dare use the word like lifestyle or taken care of. Money to pay the bills, would that be important? Income to pay off debt, would that make sense? Cash to pay off the mortgage, would that be a smart thing to do? Number 2, no more asking for permission. Are you interested? Do you have time? Would you like to? Instead, you got to make sure that you're asking at least 4 questions. No more telling. Be the 4-year-old. Why? Why not? Okay. And then you got to make sure that you choose your buy-in. I think Inez's was maybe, am I right? Am I right? Would you agree? Would that be a smart thing to do? Would it make sense? Would it be important to you? There's so many other buy-ins we're going to be going over as well. And then obviously, number 4, guys, you got to do more listening than talking. If you're doing all the talking, we call that you're rambling. Like when we start the role play, we start to do our scrimmage, we're going to say, all right, you're rambling. You're going on and on and on. You're doing all the talking. You're in a conversation by yourself. So make sure you ask me a question or ask the coaches a question, and then you listen to the answer. All right. Let's dive into health real quick. I want to show you how I'm able to write so much disability. So the reason, team, that I can write so much disability is very simple, I promise you, is I don't use the word disability. I just don't. People don't respond to disability. What they respond to is their paycheck. So I make every conversation about their paycheck. Is your paycheck important to you? Do you want to continue to get a paycheck? Tell me about your paycheck. How would you pay your bills if you didn't get a paycheck? Trust me, when you say the word paycheck, it gets their attention. When I say paycheck, it gets your attention. Your customer is no different. I don't use the word disabled. Instead, I use sick or hurt. Sick or hurt, sick or injured, it doesn't matter. Questions that I ask. Have you ever been sick before? 100% of people are going to say yes. You ever been hurt? You ever felt pain? You know what pain feels like? 100% of your customers say yes. And then here's the next question. Well, if you became sick or hurt and you couldn't work, do you still want to receive a paycheck? 100% of the people say yes. I don't have to ask about disability. I don't have to ask about being disabled. It's about being sick or hurt, can't work. Do you want to get a paycheck? Everybody says yes. Remember earlier, I already talked about, I don't try to close on the end. I close right from the beginning. My opening is so strong, it's hard for somebody to say no at the end. I don't overuse the word policy. People don't want to buy policies. People don't want to buy policies. Stop talking about policies. What problem do you solve? I don't want to buy a policy, but I want to get a paycheck if I became sick or hurt, can't work. Oh, I absolutely want that. Oh, I definitely want to get a check. So I treat the word policy just like I treat the word life insurance. You don't have to ignore the word, but you shouldn't be using it over and over again. So here's what I teach. You always, always, always want to brand your agent. If Jason is my agent, then the question that I ask customers, if you became sick or hurt, you couldn't work, do you still want to get a paycheck? Yes, I do. Great. So would it be okay if Jason sent you a check? Would it be okay with you if Jason paid your mortgage for the next 3 years? You get sick, you get hurt, you can't work, and Jason sends you a check month after month, year after year for the next 3 years to help pay your bills. I mean, would that be a smart thing to do? Would that make sense? See, it's so difficult for a person to say no. It's almost like I'm leading them, and we'll teach how to overcome objections. I'm leading them to get them to say yes. But if you make it about a policy or a disability policy and how much money it's going to cost them, that makes them back up. Listen to this. I never talk price with a customer. Did you catch that? I never talk price with a customer. A customer brings up price, I respond with value. If you talk price with a customer, guys, you've already lost. All right. So if a customer says to me, I don't know if I can afford it. Totally get where you're coming from, Jason. But can you really afford not to protect your paycheck? I mean, if you don't get a paycheck, how are you going to pay your bills? I mean, where's that money coming from? And brother, if you can't afford $20 a week, notice how I break everything down by the week, because that's how people think. $20 a week. Everybody on this call, I don't care who you are, how much money you make, you wasted $20 last week. And if you can afford $20 a week, how's your family going to be able to afford to pay the mortgage next month? Where's that money coming from? What if we did this? What if we took the same $20 that you may be spending on something that's not important, and we put it over here to protect your paycheck, which you told me is important? So if you ever become sick or hurt, you can't work, don't worry about a thing. Jason's going to pay your mortgage for the next 3 years. I mean, come on. What's not to like about that? Guys, I promise you, you think writing DI is so difficult. It's one of the easiest things to write when you know what to ask. Here are 4 questions I want you to start implementing immediately as soon as you get off this call. Here's your first homework assignment. These are the 4 questions to get into a DI conversation. And when you ask these questions, you should already know the answer. Is your paycheck important to you? Ask anybody that question. They're going to say yes. The next question, I call this a double down question. It's important to you on a scale of 1 to 10, how important? You're going to hear a 10, a 15, it's a 50, it's everything. The lowest number I've ever heard was a 7. I think once somebody said to me it was a 7. It doesn't matter what the number is. The next question doesn't change. Well, if it's a 7, would it make sense to protect it? If it's a 10, if it's a 15, would it make sense to protect it? Great. What do you have in place right now to protect your paycheck? Your top 2 answers, I have it at work or I don't have anything at all. If they have it at work, I'm going to teach you how to overcome that objection. Oh, I have it at work. Hey, congratulations, you have something at work. How much money is your job going to pay you? Most people don't know. Would you be surprised to know it's about 60% of your income? Now, Justin, I don't know about you, but I can't live on 60% of my income. I need all my money. What about you?
Truth.
So tell me this. Here's a question. How are you going to pay 100% of your bills on 60% of your income? See, these type of questions, doubt and discomfort questions, make the customer start thinking. I'm not trying to push something on you. I'm not talking about a policy. Well, would it be okay with you if Jason made up the difference? If my agent Jason made up the difference, would that be a smart thing to do? So team, let me stop sharing here. So team, what it all boils down to, if you want to write more life and you want to write more health or DI, it's not as difficult as you think it is once you know what to ask. So once we start the training from day 1, just like today, we're going to be giving you guys some very simple but extremely powerful sales techniques, questions to ask that as soon as you jump off that call, the conversation changes. And once the conversation changes, that's when your sales begin to change. And for the team members, once my sales begin to change, my paycheck began to change. So if you are ready for me and my team to take you and your team to the next level, to start writing a lot more life and a lot more health with premium, then I don't know how many spots we have left over now. I know some people are already signing up while we're doing this. Well, we already had people signing up. But please make sure you get with Justin or Jason, Agency Growth Services guys, and we can kick this off. So with that being said, I will turn it back over to you, Jason. You can field any questions, or Justin, you can field any questions that you may have over the next maybe 15 minutes or so.
Thanks, Steve. That was really great. I actually, I got a couple pages of notes myself for sure. So I'm going to open up to the chat though. If you folks do have questions, and we're going to let Justin go over some logistics here as well. So any follow-up questions, and while you're all thinking about that and punching it in, I did have one agent text me, Steve, just asking about this training just from today, how to go about implementing what you just taught with their team. How do you go about it from here? Because we've got some knowledge, some information. We don't want to just lose it and not take action. What would you recommend for next steps?
That's a very great question, Jason. And unfortunately, that's what the issue is. Everybody write this down. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. You guys got some knowledge today, but it's not going to mean a thing if you do not apply it. So how do we apply it? It's the accountability piece. That's what I was talking about earlier. Here's the truth. I have trained 4,800 State Farm agencies. So imagine how many team members that is. 4,800 State Farm agencies. So here's what happens. I come on, I do a call. Some of you are on this call. You took a bunch of notes. You're excited. You jump off this call. You start implementing. But then there's no follow-up. There's no accountability. There's no class. There's no more teaching. I guarantee you within 30 days, you're going to be reverting right back and making the same mistakes you were making before because there's no accountability. And the class that we have coming up in August, that's the accountability piece. That's how we implement it. Day number 1, we do a quick review. We give you the other mistakes. We do role play. There's scrimmaging. there's homework. Now you've got the chat. You got access to myself and my coaches. Again, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Steve, I had a conversation with the customer. They said this, I said that. Didn't go the way I expected it to go. What did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? Boom. Me and my other coaches were right there. You get the answer that day. You don't have to wait for the next training call. Then we move to day 2. It's the exact same thing. So the way to implement, truly implement, if you guys want to see a change, hear my heart. It ain't just taking a bunch of notes, going back to your office and then try to implement it. If I could just be completely open and honest, if you could do that, you wouldn't be on this call. You're looking for somebody to teach your team, to hold their hand, to give them exactly what to ask, and then hold them accountable to do that. So that's how you implement it. You got to be accountable for it.
Perfect. Thanks, Steve. We had a question come in. How important do you feel product knowledge is?
Product knowledge. Oh, golly. I think product knowledge is important, but it's not as important as too many team members make it. Here's why. There's something called analysis paralysis. I don't know if you guys know what that means, right? Analysis paralysis. I got team members, they analyze the product, and I got to know every single thing about the product before I even try to make the first sale. And I'm telling you, that does not work. You should be practicing on how to get the customer to say yes. That's what you should be doing. How do I get the customer to say yes? How do I get the customer to let me solve their problem? Product knowledge, you can call life company for that. You can call health company for that. You can sit down with your agent and figure that out. Can you get your customer to say, yes, I want this today? Or are they saying, I'll get back with you. I'm not interested. Let me check on it. I don't have any time. That's what the team members should be focusing on. Because once the customer says, you know what? Yep, that makes sense. Let's get started. Then you just simply go to, you can call Life Company. You can go on your computer. The first time I wrote a Life app, I didn't know what I was doing, but I got the customer to say yes. And I went from page to page, answering the questions, click on next. Answer the questions, click on next. Get to the end, take the money, sign here, add it to my State Farm payment plan. So for me, product knowledge does not come before how to solve the customer's problem. Focus on that. The product knowledge takes care of itself.
That's great. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I remember doing those paper apps. It's been a while. If we figured those out. What other questions do we have here? Anyone out there with a question? Okay. Looks like we're answering in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Justin. If you folks have more, just throw them in the chat. We'll come back to that.
Absolutely. And everybody appreciate it. Steve, awesome. Can't wait to get the class sold out. We are having people sign up right now. Just some logistics, everybody. The class begins on August 4th. That is a Monday. Begins August 4th, and it is 4 consecutive weeks, Monday through Friday for 4 weeks. Now, the class is from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, that is 2 hours of Zoom class, Monday through Friday every day. This is why our class is different. All of you that took our new household acquisition training, it is different because Steve and his team are working with your team members every day. That is critical. It's not just a presentation like that, and you got to go try and take this knowledge. No, every single day they're working with Steve. And as you can see, he brings the energy every single day, and your team will absolutely improve. So that is our August class, right? We only had 20 spots for that class. I had a few people already sign up. The first 10 people that do sign up are getting that $300 discount for being on the webinar. If you are an AGS current client and want to sign up, send me a text or shoot me an email immediately if you want a spot in the August classes. Your discount is still there as well. Once those spots are filled, the discount is gone. We will then be filling September at full price. So let's take advantage of that discount. You will get an email here very shortly with the link to sign up, or visit us at maxsmvc.com. Because once again, once your team members take Steve's class and our class, you are absolutely going to max your SMVC. So those are logistics of class. If you have any questions, I will put my phone number in the chat. It'll also be in my email. Feel free to give us a call.
And another IM come over. Yes, agents and team members can sign up. So if you're an agent and you want to take the class as well, I just learned Lonnie, myself, agents can take the class as well.
Yep.
Yes,
I
the
see
class is
somebody.
Monday through Friday.
That's Evanette. Hey, Evanette, how we doing? Good to see you. So yes, the class is Monday through, she asked, was it Monday through Friday? It is Monday through Friday. Evanette, I like this, what Agency Growth Services are putting together, because it is those 2 hours per day. Not only is it the 2 hours per day that your team is going to be spending with me and my team, it's the chat that Molly is setting up as well. All right, guys, that's important. So think about how the class goes. We're going to do an hour of training, and during that hour, you'll get trained. Then we come right back the very next hour. Now you're implementing, you're executing on what you learned that first hour with the role play, with the scrimmaging, right? Getting out of the comfort zone. And then at the same time, there's a chat. I don't know if Molly's going to do a WhatsApp or something, but then there's a chat. So for the whole month of August, even when you finish the class, it may be 3 p.m., 1 p.m. You got a question, you don't have to wait for the next day. You can drop your question in that chat and you can get the answer to whatever you're looking for. So it really is having access to myself, to Molly, to Josh, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. What's not to like about that? I mean, would that make sense? I mean, would that be a smart thing to do, to have me and my team working with your team?
Perfect. So, okay, so for the class, we had a question about the price of the class. The class is priced at $3,995 per team member. The discount that applies for all webinar attendees today is $300 off of that price for the first 10 sign or the next 10 signs, I should say. The AGS offer that went out to you is a little bit different. So if you're an existing AGS customer, refer to that email or reach out to Justin. September class will be sold at full price.
Do we have any team members that have questions? Team members, come on. I train team members. I see a lot of agents asking questions about the class. Team members, what questions do you have about sales? Objections, specific struggles? Let's go. And just so you know, when we do the class, guys, it will not be this format. We will be seeing you. I will see you.
Classes are capped at 20 reps, so you're all going to get to practice.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get any spouse objections?
Of course. All the time. Guys, you're going to be hard pressed to find an objection that I haven't seen, haven't heard, and not able to overcome. So I'll get let me talk to my spouse and I'll get back with you. So the way we overcome objections is we'll show you how to lead the customer, LEAD, right? We listen, we show empathy, we ask questions, and then we ask for the sale. You heard me use that, right? Do you want to pay monthly or yearly? So the objection of, let me talk to my spouse, we show empathy. Totally get it, understand where you're coming from, right? I've been married for 27 years, so I don't normally make these type of decisions without talking to my spouse, right? But then I'll walk them through what the underwriting process looks like, right? Because just like you got to talk about it, State Farm has to talk about it as well. Biggest misconception everybody has. Everybody thinks they can buy life insurance whenever they want. You can't buy it, you have to qualify for it. And this is called the takeaway. And I don't know if you're going to qualify. I got to ask you a couple of questions. State Farm may call you. They may ask you some questions. They're going to send somebody out to your house. At the end of that, it takes about maybe 3 weeks or so. So at the end of the 3 weeks, you get to make a decision. Do I want it? Do I not? You've been talking to your spouse the whole time. If you want it, you keep paying the $200 a month. But if you decide you don't want it, then Jason's going to give you all your money back. Does that sound fair? So the question is, does that sound fair? So I may go that route. Or another route that I actually like a lot better is, again, I totally understand where you're coming from. I get that. I'm married as well. But tell me this, because people think in pictures, and a lot of team members keep making it about the policy and not about the picture, not about the problem. So think about it like this. You no longer here, you pass away. And we show up to your house and everybody's there. They're upset you passed away because they're crying. And in one hand, I've got a $500,000 check. And in the other hand, I've got a casserole. Which one of those would you want me to give to your spouse? The check or the casserole? Do you guys want to guess on what 100% of your prospects will say? Everybody wants the check. Perfect. So how do you want to pay for this, monthly or yearly? You want to talk to your spouse, but do you think your spouse is going to be upset if we gave her a check? See, it's not really about what your spouse wants. It's more so about what you want for your spouse. Your spouse may say, don't worry about it. We got it. We'll figure it out. Do you want them to have to figure it out, or with a tax-free check, pay off the house? What makes more sense to you? So guys, there are all kinds of things you can ask, all kinds of things you can do. But until you pull the trigger and get enrolled in a class, it's not going to work. Like right now, today, you probably didn't even get 10% of everything we're going to be going over. It's more so of a sample. Once we start working together, we take everything that we went over today plus other stuff, and now we got to break it down and we got to expand on it. It's not that simple. If you think to yourself, oh, I got mistake number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and no, you can't. We got to expand on mistake number 1, expand on number 2, number 3, number 4, give you the other 4 mistakes. How do you overcome the top 22 objections? Justin is putting together a manual. We went over less than 10% today. He's putting together a manual that you're going to have at your fingertips, that when you do receive some objections, that you can go right to the manual and get the answer you're looking for. Like, we didn't cover how many of you have policies that are table rated. Did we cover that today? No. Did you cover the objection that I have it at work? No, but we will in class. I can't afford it. Did we cover that one? No, but we will in class. I just want to get the auto insurance, Steve. I don't want to deal with the life insurance. Did we cover that today? No, but we will in class. So I'm telling you, if you think that you took a bunch of notes today and then you're going to implement it, we've been doing this for a long time, guys. Not going to work.
And the scrimmaging itself is so valuable. In that NHAT class, it's designed on role plays. Is it going to, in terms of format, Steve, are we going to have homework that's similar to that, where you're going to go scrimmaging class and then implement that?
Yep. So the homework will be, depending on what we're talking on, Jason, the homework will be based on whatever we taught in class that day. But it'll be some practical application stuff. Like, it'll be talking to customers, pivoting with customers, writing the customers' names down, because there's follow-up that we did not cover today. There's follow-up you're going to have to do. And we're going to teach you how to follow up with the customers. So the homework is not just book stuff for the agents that are listening. The homework will be book stuff, but it'll actually be what we talked about earlier, implementation, because we want you guys getting sales. Listen to me. Listen. I'm going to give a guarantee. 2 guarantees. You may not like them, but here are 2 guarantees. I guarantee you, I guarantee, if the team member you send it to this class will implement, execute, listen to me and my coaches on what we tell them to do, if they will execute on that, the money you spend to enroll them in this, it'll be paid back 3 times as much, 4 times as much. I guarantee it, because we see it happen every single day. I also guarantee this. If you don't do anything differently than you're doing now, you're not going to see anything different. That's it for me,
Life
guys.
is coming too. So, Steve, for an agent that enrolls a team member in this class, is it a fair expectation of results for a team member who's engaged in implementing 10 apps a month, 100,000 of premium? What would be expectations for a team member coming out of this class?
I'm sorry, you cut out on my end. Say it. Would it be what again?
What would be a fair expectation of a team member graduating from this class in terms of production? Apps per month, premium per year?
Yep. So we will typically, again, the key word that Jason used, guys, is implementation. right? That's everything. So this is all based on implementation. So here's what we see. Team members that'll come to the class, some of them are brand new, haven't written any. Most of them are struggling. What are you writing? I'm probably doing like maybe like one app, maybe two apps a month, Jason. And so now they'll start doing because our depending on what level they are, we're looking at 4, 4, 20, 80. I don't want to get into all that right now, but doing at least one app per month, per week. I'm sorry, at least one app per week. So if they're doing one or two, they should be getting the 4 to 6 apps. Okay. Then we can start focusing on premium. So we take those 4 to 6 apps per month, and then we show them to start how increasing the premium. And you guys got a little bit of that today about breaking it down by the week, $20 a week. So think about the average premium of a team member in your agency. If your team member saying, let me quote your life insurance, and they're quoting an instant answer, or they're quoting a $100,000 policy, we're going to teach them that that's not how you do it. Because you know as well as I do, $25, $22, $27. We're going to show them how to turn that into an $80 a month life policy right off the bat. And it goes up from there, from $80 a month to $150 a month to even $200 a month. $40, think about this, guys, $40 a week. $40 a week, that's $160 a month life policy. People spend that. And if they say, I can't afford $40 a week, that's way too much, Steve. Totally get where you're coming from. You never ask a person what's their budget. You never ask that question. Here's the question. If $40 a week is too much, how close to $40 can you get? How close to $40 can you get? Do you guys realize $15 a week is still $60 a month? And your team members are not even writing that. They're not even writing $60 a month. For those who are writing $60 a month, though, oh, they're going to love me. They're going to love me. If they're already writing $60 a month, we're about to turn $60 a month to $200 a month because they've already got on the inside of them what it takes just to write the 60. So, all right, guys, that's my time. That is my time. I got to head up out of here.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you being here. Thanks everybody for joining.
Steve,
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it.
I look forward to seeing you in August.